Oh, there you are. I've been waiting for you. I parked this bus a couple years ago, and no, I haven't had any passengers, but we landed at this college campus, and I'm going to ask some questions about, American history and Christopher Columbus and the Iroquois Indians. And, they're college students. They just got out of high school. They should know the answers. So, let's get rolling. All right, where do you think Columbus landed?
Somewhere up north.
North? All right. Columbus land.
He landed in Florida.
Did he? America, I don't know. Somewhere in America.
All right, Peter, where did Columbus land?
Somewhere in the Americas. I think it was an island. I think it was actually like south of Florida, one of those little islands.
Yes, correct. All right.
Virginia, definitely East Coast.
Virginia? All right.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Virginia.
Virginia? All right. You don't know? All right. What do you think the Iroquois are like before the English came?
I think probably by English standards primitive, but I think they probably lived well and enjoyed life. I know they were really good at farming.
They they were hunting for food and fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing, hunting.
Hunting together. That's what you call it.
How do you think the Europeans affected the Iroquois?
We probably ruined them and gave them stronger alcohol than what they were able to brew. That's my
Perfect.
guess.
Now, how do you think the English impacted those Indians when they came over?
They probably helped them to become more civilized. Maybe help them to better delegate the jobs and taught them about like what businesses should look like and things like that, I guess.
They took our land and treated them badly, poorly.
All right, perfect.
They used them as slaves
Yes,
and kept them captivated
correct.
and kind of tortured them.
Yeah.
They killed them off. It was like a mass genocide.
Perfect. That is the best answer I've had. Now, last one. What do you think they traded between each other?
That is a great question. I have no idea.
You have no idea?
Yeah, I would guess arms or something that the Indians would overvalue and they undervalued. They took advantage of them.
Yeah.
Well, it started out they would just trade food, like their plants for clothes and blankets. And then as the Europeans got more greedy, they had to trade their bison and stuff for guns because the Indians needed to protect themselves.
Exactly.
Like fish and maybe weapons. I don't know. Fish, weapons, and like animals.
They traded skills like teaching the English how to farm, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of food and livestock and things like that. Yeah.
So the Iroquois, who are they?
They sound like an indigenous peoples group from somewhere in the Americas to me. Probably the North Americas or Central Americas.
All right. You know these.
A group of people.
Are they a type of Native American?
You don't know? Is it true that Columbus was a ruthless murderer, or did he just sail the ocean blue?
Just sailed the ocean.
He sailed the ocean blue. All right. So those question and answers were actually amazing. Some of them were very correct. Some of them weren't. But here's the real explanation to literally everything about Columbus, the Iroquois Indians, and basically anything you want to know. So Columbus, he did sail the ocean blue, but it wasn't all cheery like you learn in kindergarten. He landed in the Bahamas and he murdered 90% of all the Indians, and pretty much after the Europeans came over, like I said, 90% of them were wiped out, also due to disease and other factors that came in. So with the Iroquois, before the English came, they lived in log houses. They were very simple. They lived very, very simple lives. The men hunted and got food while the women farmed and took care of the household, which the women farming part was actually very controversial to the English when they came over. Indians during that time, they had no outside contact. So what they learned all their life kind of stayed the same. They never really advanced much. And one thing about after the Indians came was, or the Europeans came, was they increased the economy of pretty much all Indian tribes, especially the Iroquois, because they started doing fur trade in exchange for firearms and metal, which is something the Indians had never seen before. So it kind of sparks a idea in their mind that, hey, we can push forward through life and get even better. So they started trading with British merchants, and afterwards the competitive nature of the English kind of turned against the Iroquois and ended up having the Iroquois fighting against the English, and it ended up being a big bloody battle, and well, of course the English won. That's how we got here. That's why we have to go to school. As you see, I'm on top of the school bus. How do you think that all happened? That all happened because of the English coming over, taking control of all the Indians. Pretty much. Okay, all in all, we should really be thankful that the Europeans and Christopher Columbus came over. And we actually have a school holiday coming up about him. And yes, he did conquer and take over the Indians, but they actually, in a sense, learned to coexist with each other, and they actually learned from each other, which is something that we can really do now in 2020. Instead of fighting each other and finding differences about everyone and just arguing about everything, we can really just learn to exist with each other and learn to like each other. So, I really need some help cleaning this bus. So I'm out of here.